Hi guys! Hello everybody, my name is Pepe Cuenca. I am a Spanish Grandmaster. What am I doing here today? Well, I'll be trying to play in some Banter Blitz in English first, the first 2 hours, and then 2 hours in Spanish. I see there are a lot of people already in the chat. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you can listen to me. I'll be trying to read all your opinions, your comments, etc, etc, etc. I see we have a lot of challenges already here in Chess 24. So I'll just pick some of the premium members. Just give me a second because I hear some echo. Yeah, now I'm back again. So everything it's fine. So as you guys know, Jan is on holidays in Thailand. So I'll be the one playing Banter Blitz this week. I'm not Jan, I know, but you will have the opportunity to crush a weaker Grandmaster. I can accept only challenges from premium members, as I said. So I see we have a lot of them. I'll just pick, for example, Devil 70. Alright, so I'll go C4, the English opening. It's very trendy now. You guys saw it in the candidates a lot. So I'm happy because I am an English player. So, are you here, Devil 70? Are you here, Devil 70? Otherwise, I will have to abort again. Whoa, we have the Dutch opening in the first game. All right, so I'll play something strange. E4. It's actually not the best move, but it's interesting. I played it in rapid games. The idea is after F takes E4, D3. After E takes D3, Bishop takes E3, Knight F6, G4 going for that king. But the good move here is, for example, Knight C6 followed by E5, right? In one game, okay, Knight F6, and now I want to take here this guy on E4. If Knight takes E4, I will go Bishop D3, and then hopefully try to give some checkmate by F. But this is quite good for Black, so the idea for Black now is to go, yes, Bishop C5, and Black hasn't got any problem. So let's see how I play from here. All right, what to do? I'll just go Knight C3. This is natural move, developing my knight and defending the E4 pawn. Yeah, maybe I'll go for the fianchetto variation with Bishop G2, G3, Bishop G2, or Knight F3, just Bishop E2 trying to develop. The good idea for Black here is to place the Bishop on C5 because now F2 is too weak. So actually Black is completely fine after this nonsense with E4 against the Dutch. Okay, Bishop C5. He's actually playing So G3, he cannot go Knight to G4, so I'll try to develop fast with Bishop G2, Knight to E2, and... Alright. Is it dangerous? Now Bishop F2 may be a threat, so I should be careful already in this position, yeah? So Bishop B2, Bishop G2, Bishop F2, King F2, Knight to E4, I just go back to E1, yeah? Nothing happens. But maybe it's dangerous. Okay, I'll just try. Bishop G2. Not quite sure what happens after Bishop F2, yeah? So... Otherwise, I'll just go Knight F3 and castles and then try to develop a little bit my pieces. Black is more than fine in this position. I just wanted to try this little trick in the opening. It didn't work, but we'll see. Lot of users in the chat. I see Pinquito, Juan David, people from Colombia, people from Chile, from India. Lot of people trying to crush me today. D6. All right. So... Knight E2, Knight G4 is crushing me, so I will go maybe Knight F3 here in this position. Knight F3, yeah? Knight F3, Bishop G4, I can just play H3. Okay, I'll just try Knight F3. Then castles, maybe trying something like A3, B4. Okay, Knight C6, short castles, I will go just A3, B4, trying to eliminate this guy here. It's the most powerful piece for Black. Bishop G4. Now Knight to D4 is pretty annoying, right? Knight to D4, pinning my knight on F3. So maybe it's time to go already for H3. Yeah, H3, asking this guy, where do you wanna go? So maybe he will take on F3, then I just take with the bishop, then go back to G2. Still, I don't like the position. This guy on c5 is a monster. Maybe it's time to go some knight a4 at some positions, but he can always go to d4 with that guy, right? So, not so sure about my position. We need to play fast. Okay, bishop a6. Now, maybe it's time to... I would love to go knight d5, but the pawn on e4 is hanging, so I just not on time. I will just go b3, defending this guy on c4. Maybe knight d5, maybe something like queen to d3. All right, knight to d4. But now it's a different story because I can just take. Or, yeah, I can just take. I can just take. After bishop d4, I can go bishop b2. Developing my last piece, and maybe knight to a4. Finally eliminating this annoying guy. I don't want you in the board. I don't want this bishop, this dark square bishop. Queen to d7. Pretty natural move, putting pressure on the h3 pawn. I will just go king to h2. Yeah. And I agree with boring chess. Yeah, this opening didn't go well for me. I completely agree on this. But maybe it's time to push the f pawn, Facundo. We used to call this pawn Facundo. Maybe f4 is interesting move now because he cannot take an f4 because the bishop on d4 is hanging. So if the bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3. Now what's going on there? I will just go f4. Why not? I'll just go f4. All right, let's try to push this guy to f5. Try to gain some space on the king side, yeah? Okay, this is a piece for free, yeah? And I love food for free. As I told you guys more than once, this bishop on d4 is really tasty. So I will just take it. F takes g3, I can just take with the king and then just go back to h2, right? Maybe I'm blundering something. This is the first game I play in some days, so maybe I don't see anything. I'm kind of blind, but I will just take this guy on g3, right? I think there's not a problem. I can just take here. Knight h5, I can just go back to h2, nothing happens. Knight f4, maybe it's a bit annoying, but then this diagonal can be very dangerous for black as well after some knight to d5 maybe. Knight f4 is pretty annoying now. Maybe, okay, queen to e7. All right, I will just jump with this guy. Boom, let's go to d5. Yeah, I can just go to d5. He takes, I will take back with my e-pawn, trying to bring the rooks to the center, trying to exchange everything because we are up in material, right? So, queen to h4. Interesting move. He wants to go to g3 probably, and then I will have some troubles. So maybe it's time to go something like queen to c3. Queen to c3, covering the h3 pawn, covering the g3 square should be interesting at least. I will just go, yeah, I will just go queen to c3. So now the g3 square is covered, f4 square is covered. Yeah, I need to move the board a little bit up so you guys can see now properly the board. I will just take with my c pawn in order to avoid this rook coming to the play to the 7th rank that could be really dangerous. And now we'll just try to exchange everything. So rook takes f8 and then just rook f1. Maybe it's good enough to win the game. Otherwise, what else can I do? What else? c7 is hanging as well, but I wouldn't take it because queen to g3 and knight f4 is pretty dangerous. Okay, I'll just take this guy on f8 and then bring the other rook to the action. Maybe now queen f3, just threatening checkmate in one move, threatening the rook on e5. So it looks nice for us now. So I mean queen f3. Now this rook has to go somewhere, has to cover the f8 square, has to cover the f7 square. So looks pretty good for white now, right? I think we managed to win the game. Not so sure how after the terrible opening I played, but yeah. Okay, so only move, I don't see any move actually for black. Maybe 8-6. Yeah, 8-6 has to be played. All right, I'll just take the free foot and then just give a couple of checks. This is always nice, right? Then try to go queen to g4 maybe. Yeah, let's go to queen to g4. Forcing this exchange of queens because the knight on h5 is also hanging, so he cannot go back with the queen. This would mean another piece for free, right? After queen takes e4, h takes g4, he has to resign. All right, so thank you very much, Devil70, for your game. And we have more users here. We have Brainboy, 2240, dangerous opponent from India. Let's see what he plays. I will try to play something more serious now in the opening. Yes, I'll take some water. Knight f3, knight f6. I will go for my favorite opening, the King's Indian. Whoa, he goes for the fianchetto variation. Pretty solid opening against the King's Indian. Castles, castles. d4. And now I will change my mind. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna play d5, playing in the style of the Grunfeld. So after c4, I will just take on c4, then knight c6, playing this kind of opening. Okay, this is pretty standard. c4, c6 is also possible, of course, it's the main line, but I will just take this guy here on c4. Knight a3 is normally played. After knight c6 is interesting. Knight takes c4, bishop e6. This is interesting play. So, yeah, knight bd2, knight a3 is the most common move here, trying to get the c4 pawn back. And as I tell you, like after knight a3, knight c6 is pretty normal. Okay, knight e5. And now I should find a way to react against this move. Okay, I will just go knight c6 here. Maybe it's just stupid, but this kind of move is natural when the knight is not on f3. So, and then we have some pressure on the d4 pawn on the b2 file. All right, let's just go knight c6. Knight takes, b takes, bishop takes, rook b8, putting some pressure on the b2 pawn. Maybe, yeah, maybe developing via h3. So getting some active play. Of course, our structure is totally ruined, but some play in return. Knight a3. I will just go bishop e6, defending this guy on c4. After bishop takes c6, I can't even think on going bishop d5, sacrificing the exchange here. But most naturally is just go rook b8. I think I'm playing like a putzer in in these first two games, but okay. All right. I'm not so sure if he can take this rook on a8. Maybe play something like knight e8. Could be tempting for him to take on a8, but precisely this kind of play, I like it, with this monster on e6. All right, let's just play natural, yeah? Let's just play rook b8. Maybe rook b6 or knight to e8. e3 is played. What should I do? What should I do here? What should I do? I wanted to go knight d5, knight takes e4, knight b4 here. What do you guys think? Knight d5, knight takes e4, knight b4, double attack. All right, it looks messy, so I will just play it. So after knight c4, knight b4, the bishop on c6 is hanging, the knight on c4 is hanging, maybe d5, but I can just take back on c6. I don't know. Yeah, actually, Boring Chess is asking, what was my plan for the bishop on g2 if he didn't blunder? Yeah, it was a kind of difficult position. The plan was just to push f-pawn, then see what happens, yeah? I'm not so sure what was the plan. Okay, knight a5. I completely missed this move, but at least I can just take on... where? I can just take... where can I take? Bishop a2. It's a move, yeah? Bishop f5 is another interesting move. Maybe e4. Bishop f5, I like it. But just bishop d2, yeah? Nothing happens, actually. So it's not easy, this position. I would love to go knight c6, and then knight c6, queen d6, knight to b8, rook b8. Still, it's interesting, but I think it's not enough. So I will just take this guy on a2. Yeah, a pawn is a pawn, as Uncle Jan says all the time. So I'll just take this guy. And then I can go back to d5 maybe. After bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, and then this knight on a5 could look a little bit silly, yeah? So, And people are asking, how are you gonna do the shotgun in English? I have no idea. I guess it's the same, yeah? Ratatata. This... Alright, let's just go back to d5. Let's go back to d5 or not. I'm not quite sure. Alright. I wanna go back to d5 actually. Why not? Bishop takes b4, rook takes b4, then the b2 pawn is hanging in some positions after bishop d5. Alright, I'll just... Give me that baby. Bishop d5, queen to d5. More or less. I think white is a bit better because his structure is better, but still we have some decent play on the b file. Maybe just queen to d5, bring the other rook to b8. Just trying to go c5, opening this beautiful diagonal for the bishop, yeah? Alright, so queen to d2. Maybe it's time to go for rook b6. Asking this guy what he wants to do. The c6 bishop. Queen to c2. Alright. Not an easy position, yeah? It's not an easy position. Okay, maybe it's time now to go for bishop e6. He didn't want to. Maybe we can keep the bishop pair. Maybe it's more interesting. Maybe it was more interesting before. Maybe we want to go bishop f5 now, forcing e4. And then this diagonal is open. So after e4, I go back, and then d4 is pretty weak. So if he can play d5, but this diagonal, this bishop would be a monster. Now it's actually not so good. It's getting blocked by these guys here. So I would love to open this diagonal, yeah? So Pepe, people are asking, when are you gonna do a Banter Blitz in German? I cannot speak even 3 words in German. So that will take a while, I guess. He's offering me a draw here, but we are brave people. Even though I don't like my position, we need to play, yeah? We need to play. Not so sure, because the position looks terrible. Looks so terrible. I don't know what to do. Alright, I need to warm up a little bit. Alright, let's just open the position, yeah? Let's just open the position with c5. Queen takes e5, rook takes b2, queen takes a7. I have no idea what's going on here. Bishop d3 maybe. e5. Nah, I think I'm just worse, but I need to try, yeah? I don't like giving a draw in Blitz. So queen takes a7 is pretty natural. Knight takes c6 is pretty natural. And I'm getting crushed already. Maybe I should have accepted the draw. So where to go now? Queen to b6 maybe. Let's try queen b6, knight e7, king h8, knight takes f5. Maybe it's time to resign. Maybe it's time to resign. Knight e7, king h8, knight takes f5. gf. Alright, still some hopes because we have different color bishops, yeah? Okay, we have to take here on rook b8, try to hold this position. I will try to bring my king as soon as possible to f8, e7, d6. All right, just take this guy on f5 and then I'll just, at least I will push my pawn. That's the only hope that I have here. Playing like a patzer in the first 2 games. All right. Let's play fast at least. So king f8, king e7. King f1. I mean, he wins with every move. Rook f5 and then bishop. Bring the rook back to the c file and then to the b file. Shouldn't be any problem for white, but maybe it's a bit scary. Just take this pawn and then allow this guy to run. So we'll see. We'll see. He's thinking a lot. Where are you, brain boy? I'm gonna beat you on time. Whoa! Apparently he disconnected, so we were lucky. Okay, next game. Juan Cal, user from Colombia, Edwin Forero. Greetings to Edwin. Are you here, Juan Cal? D4. Let's play something different. Let's play the Benko. All right, he doesn't allow me. Let's just go G6. King's India now. Not the Grunfen style that I played before, it was just terrible. c4, bishop g7, just castles now, d6, e4 is the main variation, bishop g5. Alright, this is not the main move. I'll just go h6 and then follow c5. Normally you want to react in this, opening this diagonal when the bishop is out of this diagonal. And now if g5 followed by knight h5 is a possibility. Also queen to b6 is interesting. b5 is also interesting in this kind of positions. I'll just go g5 first and then maybe try something crazy like b5. Why not? Why not? b5, knight takes b5, and then knight e4, queen to c2, queen to c2, and then what? Then what? Queen a5 check, knight to d2. All right, so let's play just a6, yeah? a6 or knight h5. Which one? Which one? I'll just get crazy with b5. Why not? All right, if c takes b5, my idea is to play in the Benko style with a6, of course. And now maybe it's time to go for b4 followed by bishop f5. This looks interesting. And then maybe try to jump with my knight to e4, opening this diagonal for the monster, for the little monster on g7. So let's say knight to b1, and now maybe bishop to f5, controlling this important diagonal, avoiding bishop d3, maybe trying to go knight to e4, putting some pressure on the b2 pawn, maybe a5, a4, a3, opening this diagonal, knight to d7, just to develop. Not so clear how it's gonna play with white here. h4 is pretty natural. He wants to open some lines because my king could be weak. I just close this position with g4. Why not? I don't want to open any line. I will go just h5 and knight e4. If he allows that to me. And this knight here looks a little bit silly, right? The b1 knight. Pepe, what openings do you hate the most? Actually, I don't hate any opening. I feel uncomfortable when I have to face the French, for example. I don't understand pretty well those positions are arising after the French. So I will just go, it's not necessary now to go h5 because the queen is not on d1, so it's not targeting the g4 pawn. Maybe it's time now to just go for knight to e4. Knight to e4. Yeah, I will just go knight to e4. He has to take because otherwise I will just take on g3. All right, he wants to go knight to d2. I will just go back to h7. To g6, he can go h5. And now maybe h5. All right, it's time to develop my knight via d7. So maybe now going to e5 could be interesting, right? Oh, this is a rook for free. Even though I'm not so sure, I would love to take it. I will just go a5 and a4. I don't want to take this rook on b1 because my light squares will be extremely weak later. But, all right, f5, pushing the f pawn. Maybe now bishop d3 is possible. I want to go a4, taking on b3, and then just go rook a2, activating my rook. Let's just try. Okay, a4. He takes. I will just take back with what? I will just take back with what? I will just take back with the f pawn. Again, opening these lines for my beautiful h7 bishop. It's time to think of connecting the rooks, or maybe a takes b3 and rook a2. This could be extremely interesting. So I'll just take here. Rook a2. This knight hasn't got a proper square, so he cannot go to any square now. Maybe I'm threatening to play now bishop h6, pinning this guy. Wow, I see some interesting move. I'll just take this guy here and then just go bishop h6. Why not? This looks extremely interesting. Maybe knight e5, knight g6. He cannot move the rook back because the knight on d2 is hanging, so maybe he has to go for g3. g3, and then maybe it's time to go knight e5. Knight e5, I want to go knight g6 now, putting some more pressure on the f4 rook. All right, so this is a knight for free. We'll just take it. I love food for free, as I told you guys so many times. Okay, I want to exchange everything and take this guy here. So this is a piece up for me. So should be enough to win the game, right? So I would love to exchange queens now. Queen to g5. All right, I will just take this guy on e4. Okay, bishop g6 first, so there's no check anymore. And now we'll just take on e4. He has to go back. He doesn't want to exchange queens. Maybe knight f3. Okay, give me that, baby. Give me that. All right, knight to bishop f3, maybe. Give me that. I will just take this guy. I'm too slow. I need to play faster. Whoa, I'm so slow. Extremely slow. But I think we are on time, yeah? We are on time to beat him. Give me that pawn, baby. All right. What happened here? Whoa! This is stalemate. Whoa, man, this is terrible. All right, playing like a patzer all the time. More challenges. We have Nur Spielen. I didn't see this stalemate coming. e4. Incredible, yeah? I was just playing fast, I didn't see the stalemate. All right, Najdorf. Let's just try to play aggressively. Knight takes d4, knight c3. h3. Why not? h3. This is very trendy as well. The idea is pretty simple. You want to go g4. Nowadays, people are trying a5 followed by h5, precisely avoiding this g4 move. Bishop g6, bishop e6, sorry, now g4. d5 now is not a good move because after e takes, now bishop g2, white is supposed to be much better here in this position. Now you are forced to take on c3. After that, I can take on d8. Then you won't have any proper square for your king there. So after knight takes c3, I can just develop with bishop e3, long castles, winning a tempo, maybe knight to e4, knight to c5, this kind of moves, winning the bishop pair. And this looks really good for white. I'm playing like Giri, people are saying. I'm playing like Giri. No, Giri plays much better than me, yeah? Maybe almost 300 points ahead, yeah? So just a bit better. All right, so long castles. Maybe I want to go knight e4 and knight to d6. I want to win the bishop pair here. Maybe f4, opening all the files for these little monsters. These guys here on g2 and on f4. Imagine how much damage they can do. Okay, this is pretty interesting because bishop c5 now. All right. I cannot move the bishop because f2 is hanging, so I'll just go knight e4. If he takes, I'll just take back. At least I had some squares on d6. Now I want to go bishop knight d6 and then take on b7. And yeah, knight d6 is a threat, but just king to c7 is completely fine for black, I guess. Maybe knight to g5 is interesting. Yeah, maybe knight to g5. Rook f1. Yeah, I will just try to do this. It's nothing, but still, maybe I have some hopes to get an advantage. I'm just playing like a baby today. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Maybe, okay, he wants to go f6 in the next move. So rook f1, f6. I can just take, but there's nothing there. Ah, yeah, there's a nice trick, guys. So rook f1, forcing f6, knight takes e6, rook takes e6, bishop b7, boom, right? And after king b7, just rook d7. Let's try here if he falls for the trick. Okay, rook f1, maybe he will go f6 here, and now there's this beautiful trick. Okay, then give me that and bishop b7, yeah? That was the trick. And now if king b7, just rook takes e7, coming to the 7th rank. Okay, this is, oh, I was about to take on a6. What am I doing? I'm getting crazy. So I'll just go bishop e4. Now I want to go bishop f5 or maybe rook d7, just simplifying the position. Rook d7 after bishop f5, right? All right, g6, interesting move. It doesn't allow me to go bishop f5. I'll just try anyway. h4, h5. Okay, I'm not in time, but bishop d5 followed by e4, maybe h5. Just putting some pressure. All right, he wants to take my guy on b2. I won't allow that. I will just go a4. I don't want any surprises here on the queen side. I will just go h5. Try to open the h file for my rooks. Maybe, yeah, he wants to go knight b4, but this is not a problem, I guess, because I can just go bishop to c4 and nothing happens. Yeah. So now I want to take on g6 and then go rook to h1. and bringing the rook to the action, right? So after rook h6 or rook h7, maybe he's in trouble. All right, so what to do? He wants to take on c4. This is interesting. All right, he wants to knight a2 check, and all right, this could be a little bit dangerous. This could be a little bit dangerous. All right, I'll just take on h6 and then try to go rook h1. Knight a2, I can just go king to d2, rook d8, king to e1, nothing happens, yeah? Rook takes e4 is nothing, not a problem. I can just take, then I have this escape square. So king to d2, rook d8, king to e1. This is my idea. King to e2 is not possible because of knight c3. This fork, but I can just take this guy here and then just go maybe to e1. Now maybe he wants to go knight to c3 now. Maybe it's a little bit a problem. I'll just go bishop e2, covering the d1 square. But okay, he has some counterplay. Maybe I'll just go rook h6 now. Rook h6, just forcing g5 maybe. Forcing g5, now I want to go bishop d3. Gaining some squares. Go back, go back. Knight to c5, maybe bishop f5. Followed by rook h7. I'll just try this. Then rook h7. Bring the king to e2. Okay, rook h7. And king to e2. Knight to b4 is not a problem. Okay, c3 maybe. C3 is just terrible move. Just go c4. Knight c3, king f3. Okay, I'll just go rook d7, trying to exchange some pieces, but I'm not sure about this endgame either, because he's got a lot of dark squares, because I played like a patzer again. Okay, I'll just try to trick him, and just try to bring my bishop there, and now I want to go to e4 and f5. Here, and bishop f5, give me that, c5 is good now, c5 is good, c6, let's run. I'll just take here and I'm gonna lose on time. Okay, I'm just playing too slow. Incredible. All right. Playing so slow and so bad. All right, Alekinin. He challenged me 2 hours ago, so I think he has the rights to play. All right, let's try d4. And he's a strong player. He's a strong kid from Spain, Gabriel Perez. So let's go d4 and c4, knight to c3. Let's play the fianchetto variation. You guys, if you haven't seen them, I can recommend you the series from Robin van Kampen in Chess24. They're extremely interesting. d5. So we have kind of a Grunfeld. Bishop g2, he has to do something about this knight. Knight b6, knight c3. Both moves are possible, yeah. Knight b6, okay, now the d4 pawn is hanging, so I'll just go knight f3 and then trying to castle, trying to occupy in the center maybe with e4. Normally black tries to react with c5. Okay, this is not... I'll just go e4. Maybe he wants to go to c4, but that's nothing. I can just play rook e1 and then b3. Not a problem at all. So I'll just go rook e1. Maybe develop with bishop f4 or bishop b3. Bishop b3 I don't like it very much because knight c4, so that's why I'm gonna play b3. If c5, then maybe I can just develop my bishop to e3. Yeah, I think this is the next move, bishop e3. Knight g5 is also very interesting. Knight g5 is actually very interesting now because this bishop hasn't got a room. So, and yeah, I'm playing... I'm making a lot of draws today, yeah? There are two reasons. I play like a baby. Second reason, I play too slow. So let's see if I try to solve these problems. At least I can play fast. Not better, but fast. It's not too, I'm not asking too much, yeah? So just my hand, come on. All right, so yeah. He will have to give the bishop pair on f3 because his bishop is almost trapped. So I mean, after h3, he cannot go back to e6. This would be terrible. So h5. This is not a normal move in this position because there is no attack, probably. Maybe after rook a1, he wants to go h4. So I will just go h3 first, forcing him to take on f3. Of course, bishop e6 will be a terrible move, but now maybe it's time to go just rook a1. just go back to the bishop to g2, then gain some space in the center. Maybe e5, rook a6. Wow, this looks extremely strange. Maybe he wants to go after rook a1, something like a4 and then queen a8. So let's just avoid this little plan with a4. Maybe now just rook a1. We need to avoid c5, but I think it's not possible. So rook a1 now, it's good. So maybe it's time now to open files, because we have a lot more space and his queen hasn't got the proper room. The b6 knight is hanging in many lines, so he should be careful now in this position. Also, after c takes d5, we gain the b5 square for a beautiful corcel that can jump from c3. All right, he takes on d5. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about e takes, because maybe knight b5 straight away is really interesting. I will just go for knight b5, because now I'm threatening to go knight c7 and then taking this guy on c7, yeah? And he cannot take on e4 because the queen is pinned. Okay, knight to a6. This is interesting. I will just take this guy here. I will just take this guy. Knight to b4, of course, is interesting move. Maybe it's time now to go queen to d2. Queen to d2? Or queen to e2, maybe. Okay, I will just go queen to e2. Maybe some moves now are in the air, like for example, d6. I like d6 pretty much in this position. d6, why not? Let's just open the position. E takes e6 is not possible because of rook takes e6. And he has to go e6. Then maybe, and just maybe, I can just try knight c7, and then this knight maybe has to go back to a8 or something like this. Not so sure. It's still playing like a patzer. I felt like I should have won this position much faster. And now suddenly he's got some counterplay. Knight to d5, you can just take everything, just a pawn up, right? So, okay, he takes on c7. Yeah, this should be good enough. So, queen to b5. He wants to go knight to d5. All right. All right. All right. This is interesting. I mean, okay, I'll just go back to g2. And now rook c1, exchanging everything possible. I just take there, rook c1 again. Bringing some tempos, winning some tempos. Now he cannot defend both pawns, b7 and a5, just queen a8, this is really sad move. So I'll just go, okay, knight to c3, I'll just take this guy here. Oh, knight e2 check. Okay, let's just play fast. I'll bring my king to h2, so a safer square. And, okay, give me that. Queen to e2, I think this is just a piece up, so I'll just take everything. And now queen to e5, winning with a lot of pain now, because queen to g7 is really hard to avoid. Just give me that queen. Give me that queen. Queen to b6. Give me that knight. Give me bishop f6. And queen to c8 checkmate. Thank you very much, Alekin, in for the game. Alright, so let's pick some more users. We got Kariba here. User from France. C'est la vie. Are you here, Kariba? All right, so d4, let's try something different. I'll just go d6. There's a video series from Paco Vallejo where he recommends d6 against d4, so I recommend you to follow this series. So I will just go for the Philidor, one of my favorite openings. Yeah, I played this opening for more than 10 years. It's not the best opening, but it's not played in the top tournaments, of course, but it's quite interesting. So after knight e3, knight b7, main line is bishop c4. g4 is a really interesting move, attacking move. Bishop g5, just bishop e7. The black plan is normally just to go castles, and then c6 is trying to expand the pawns in the queen side with b5, a5, etc., etc. Yeah, the weakest pawn for black here is f7. That's why this bishop is normally well placed in this diagonal. And it's actually quite hard to face it. So I will just go b6. Now there's some little trick in this position. Just want to go b5 and b4, winning this e4 pawn. All right, so I'll just go b5 anyway. Now, and followed by a5 probably. followed by a5. Of course, the idea is rather simple. I want to go just a4, winning the whole piece. But of course, this is not going to happen. a4 or a3, pretty natural move. And now, what to do? I'll just go rook b8. Normally, you don't want to develop this bishop via b7 because there are some annoying moves where the knight can jump to h4 and then f5 square is not covered. But if the bishop is on c8, then after knight h4, you can always remove your knight to c5, and then this bishop has an eye on this square, right? And now, all right, for example, d takes e5 is interesting, and after knight c4, knight c5 is okay for black, I guess, because now knight f5 is not that dangerous, yeah? So, all right, maybe next move is just queen to c7, and then knight to c5, develop my bishop to g4 or to e6. Yeah, I will just go queen to c7. That's the move. Followed by knight c5, and then these b4 moves are in the air, right? So let's say, for example, knight c5 here. Now b4 is a threat, actually, because the e4 pawn is hanging. So I think I'll just go for it. Yeah, why not? The b4, boom, boom, knight to b1, only move, and then knight takes e4. I think, I'm not completely sure, but I think should be a pawn up, right? So give me, a takes. Okay, he took first on f6. At least we won the bishop pair. Now we are not gonna win the e4 pawn, but still we have some interesting play. Let's just take here back on f6. He will take on b4, takes, and then knight to b1 probably. And now he wants to go bishop c4. That could be a little bit annoying. I have two ideas in mind. I want to go knight e6 here, just followed by knight f4. This looks extremely dangerous for white. Another idea is just to go b3. I will just go knight e6, maybe forcing g3. Maybe it's the right move, g3 here in this position, but maybe I can try to go back to c5 and then bishop b4, bishop g4, it's really annoying. Okay, now bishop c4, I will just jump here. I have no other options, and I think it's a good move. Maybe just bishop g4 in the next move. I'm not so sure about this position, but looks good for black, yeah? Looks good for black. Bishop g4. I would love to play a bishop, to place a bishop in this diagonal now. If I can put a bishop on c5, I'm the happiest person in the world, yeah? Not so sure if it's that simple, but I will try anyway. I will just go bishop e7, and then maybe something like queen a5, and then try, no, queen a5 is just knight b3, yeah? So not that simple. Maybe bishop d6 followed by queen e7, and try to go bishop c5. But in any case, he's got this move, knight to b3. Maybe another plan is just to go king h8 and try to open the f-file in some positions, but still not possible, yeah? So, where's the machine gun? Guys, if you behave bad, I have the machine gun here just to kill you, so just behave well. Alright, b3. Now he hasn't got this move, knight to b3, so now I think it's more interesting to go this bishop d6 followed by queen to e7, right? You guys agree with me? I don't know. Probably not, because I'm playing like a patzer, but I like this idea. Just bishop d6 followed by queen to e7, bishop c5, and then the queen is trapped. Of course, he will make some moves. If I could move twice in a row, it would be amazing, yeah? But it's not the case in chess. So what about this queen to e7 anyway? I will just try. Followed by bishop to c5. Yeah, this is the whole idea. And now, what's going on? He has to go back to c1. He wants to jump to f5. This is pretty annoying, so I will just go g6. I will just go g6. Avoiding all kind of jumps to h5 or f5, mostly f5. Maybe just it's time to bring a rook to d8. They're sad enough there in the b5. They are doing nothing. They need to come to the play, right? Whoa, there are some nice tricks. Bishop f2 and queen c5, not in this position. But all right, let's just bring a rook to the d file. Whoa, 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 whoa! What's going on here? What's going on here? Whoa, there's bishop f2. No. I'll just take here. Rook takes, and after queen takes, there are some nice ideas with bishop b6 here, but I don't like to uncover the d6 square, so I will just improve a little bit the position of my pieces with also knight h3 is really interesting. Knight h3 is really interesting, guys, because after, or maybe bishop takes f3 and then knight h3 and knight f2. This looks really interesting. I'm not so sure because then the knight cannot come out from there. All right, I'll just go I'll just go king G7. Yeah, and I know Madrid lost 2-0 against Wolfsburg. All the journalists in Spain were saying, no, Madrid is going to win easily. Boom, 2-0, and now they have to win back in Madrid. It's not going to be easy, yeah? But I don't support Madrid. I support Betis. Betis is a shitty team. We are always suffering. But what can we do? Life is hard, yeah? I would love to go now Queen F6. Queen F6, and there are some beautiful tricks here. There are some beautiful tricks with knight to G2 followed by bishop F3. It's got a really tough position to defend now. It's got a really tough position to defend because knight G2 is coming. I don't see any reasonable move to maybe the knight on F3 spin as well, so he cannot retreat this knight. F2 is really weak. This looks like knight to G2 is really good move, yeah? Knight to G2 is almost killing him. So now Queen F3 followed by Queen F2 and Bishop F3 checkmate, right? Am I crazy or am I blundering something? Just Queen F2 followed by Bishop F3. This is checkmate, right? I still see something. I still see something. Even though I'm a patzer. Everybody knows. Alright, so let's try to play someone. Okay, strong opponent. We got here a player from Montenegro, Andrej. 26, 24, 49, chess 24, ELO. So it's gonna be a tough game considering I'm losing against all the 1500 ELO players. So, all right, let's play the French. Let's play the French. So d5, let's see what he plays. Knight c3, okay. I will just go for knight f6, the classical variation, e5, knight d7, and followed by c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e3. I will just take on d4 and bishop to c5. I played this opening several times in tournaments, and now the idea is just to castle followed by a6. Normally the problem in these lines is this guy on c8. It's so sad, it's so ugly here. Normally you want to do something about it. Just a6, b5, b4, a5, developing this bishop by a6, exchanging for this guy on f1. Actually, this rook d1 is not the most common move. Normally, white castles long side. So, bishop e2. I see my friend Davis is on the chat. All right, so I will just... whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? I will just take here. This is the natural plan. Just take on d4, then just go b5, followed by b4 and a5, then bishop a6. Yeah, black should be fine here. Normally, the plan for white just long castle and then trying to create some attack on the king side. The bishop comes more often to d3, where you can actually target the h7 pawn. All right, a3. Yeah, here a3 makes more sense because the king is on the center, so he didn't commit to the queen side. So actually makes more sense. Maybe b4 is interesting. b4. What to do? What to do here? I will just go rook b8. I will just try rook b8 or queen b6. Queen b6 looks interesting as well. Yeah, queen b6, bishop takes, knight takes. Not so sure though. But I need to try something. Okay, I'll just go queen b6. Of course, you need to take care. You need to be careful about this f5 break. If white manages to do f5, then it's a little bit dangerous, yeah? So I will just go b4, considering he cannot go knight a4 because I can just take on d4 with a check. And after a takes b4, I can just take with my queen on b4, right? Let's just try this. Queen takes b4. And now I want to go a5 and finally exchanging this bad, poor bishop. Bishop a6. Wow, I'm playing so slow. I'm talking too much rubbish and then I'm short on the clock, yeah? So, normally these endgames... Alright, bishop takes c5 and So now what? Now what? I will just take with my queen, with a check. And now I will just go a5 with the same idea. Now he cannot go f5 because the a5 pawn is hanging. I'll just go bishop a6. This was my original idea. Then I can bring my rook to the c file. Just go queen to c7. Maybe just bring the rook to c6, putting some pressure on the c2 pawn. Bring another rook to see how many pieces I have on the c file. It's not easy though to win this pawn. Maybe knight c5, it's interesting. All these endgames with heavy pieces are considered to be more than okay for black. Maybe you can just go rook c3 here in this position. Maybe queen c6, and then not so sure because he wants to go f5. I will just go g6. Not maybe queen c5 is also interesting. All right, so I will just go queen to c5. Just it's a little bit annoying. Maybe just queen to e3 in some positions. All right, what to do? I will just go h5. Maybe h4, and then I can bring the queen to e3. Maybe the queen to g3. A rook to e3. Well, looks interesting at least. He wants to go queen e1. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. That's a bit annoying. But I can just go rook e3 here in this position. Maybe rook g3 later. Not so sure how I'm gonna win this game though, but okay. We'll just take here. Rook takes. And now, what am I doing? I have to defend this h4 pawn. And I just blunder some material. Playing like a patzer all the time. Queen to c7. Terrible, terrible, guys. All right, let's just move something. I'll just try to create some counterplay with in the back rank. Rook a8, rook a1, and what? Maybe queen to b4, queen to b4, queen to h4. Just not a problem. Yeah. Okay, rook d8, queen f6. Well, queen a3. No, I'm just gonna lose this game. Terrible. I was playing okay, but yeah, I blundered some material. I played really slow. And okay, at least we managed to Gibson check. This is nothing, but just play fast to see if we can do something about it. d4, check. This is does so nothing, so we have to resign. Good game. Thanks for the game. Already 2600. All right, let's get some people here in order. So we get Marshall. Let's go for e4, and it's 8 p.m. So 1 more hour in English, then we'll switch to Spanish. We get another Sicilian. People want to crush me. They don't want to play solid. I will go for d4. What's he gonna play? Maybe Pelican? Okay, the accelerated dragon. My recipe against the accelerated dragon is normally to play the Maroczy lines. It's actually extremely solid for white. You gain a lot of space. The idea now is to continue with knight c3, bishop e2, short castles, rook to c1. A pawn normally goes to f3, defending this guy on e4. All right, so knight f6. Now bishop e2 is normal, just to covering the g4 square, just avoiding this kind of jumps with the knight. Next move is normally short castle from black, short castles for white, and then there are two plans. One is bishop d7 followed by knight d4, bishop d4, bishop c6. The other plan is just to take straight away on d4 and then followed by bishop e6, a6. This is not the most common move, but actually we can transpose later to some lines. For example, taking on d4, bishop e6. I will just go rook c1. This is a useful move normally. Normally this diagonal is pretty dangerous so I will just go b3. This is another natural move, defending our weakest pawn, the c4 pawn. Maybe I just want to develop now with queen to d2 and followed by f3. Later put a knight on d5 maybe. Queen to b8. Wow, this is pretty strange. I will just go f3. Why not? f3. You see here, what black's problem is normally a lack of space, yeah? So it's not easy to break on b5. And maybe it's now possible to break on b5. Just b5 straight away after c takes, knight takes d4, bishop takes, and a takes b5. Maybe it's possible. All right, so what to do now? Maybe it's time to jump to d5. Normally, I will prefer first to go queen to d2, but this b5 move, it's a bit annoying. All right, I'll just go knight to d5. Normally, I will take back with the pawn, with the e pawn, just opening this file for my rook. Then I can put some pressure on the e7 pawn, yeah. Of course, this allows some simplification for black. So knight takes e5, e takes, taking everything on d4. Maybe I should have waited a little bit more, but still, I think it's reasonable for white. After knight takes, taking everything, he can go queen a7, exchanging the queens as well. So I think black is fine. We'll see what's going on. By the way, guys, you know, Norway chess is gonna start soon. So if you think we had too much chess with the candidates in 2 weeks, I don't know, in 1 week, we have the Norway chess coming. So a lot of chess action going on these days. So knight takes d4. I would love to take on e7, intermediate move, but just king f8, and then I just lose the game. So I have to take back with my bishop on d4. Knight takes d5, probably the next move. And now I have to think. So what is better for me? If taking first on g7 is not, so I will just take on d5. Then try to push with f4, maybe just bring to the bishop to d3, just putting some pressure on e7. But I think after queen a7, black is fine. With queens, I think the position is okay for white. But without queens, I think black is okay. So now that he didn't do that, I will just go king h1. So now we're gonna keep the queens on the board. I can go queen h4, targeting the e7 pawn. If he goes queen a7, right? After b takes e4, my bishop will come to c4. Then I will bring some rooks. I'll bring thousands of rooks to the e file. I just go queen h4. I like this move, forcing this rook back to e8. But I also like this big diagonal. So I have to choose now. Maybe I'll just go rook e1 first to see what he does. After b takes, I can always take with the bishop. Yeah, who is replacing Karjakin? Actually, I have no idea. Yeah, he refused to play in the Norway chess, but I have no idea who's gonna replace him. What I know is Peter Spilder and Jan Gustafsson will be the official commentators in the Norway chess, so it should be fun to watch them. This is the dream team of commentators, of course. Spilder, yeah, he was playing in the candidates. What else do we want? I understand you had to see my ugly face. Yeah, it should be a problem, but John and Peter Spilder is a dream team, yeah, for commentating. So e5, interesting move. I think I had to take here. I will just take. After bishop takes e6, I think we have slightly better position because we have better structure, but not so sure. After bishop, I will go bishop d3. Slightly better for white, I would say. So bc, bishop takes c4, and after we exchange everything on c4, he will have 3 islands, 3 pawn islands. I will have just 2. So this is why it's considered to be a bit better for white, this kind of positions, right? But of course, it's just nothing special, yeah? It's nothing special. Rook takes, queen takes, maybe I would love to give some pressure to my king, just h3, just to avoid calculating all these back rank problems in many lines. So he wants to go d5, so let's just not allow that. Just rook to d1. Rook to d1, putting some pressure on the d6 pawn. Maybe queen to d5 in the next move. Just h3, and then, yeah, maybe pushing these guys here, so it's a bit better for white. Oh, we have Matutev, GM pre-move here. A lot of users, they want to crush me. They will. They will if I play like I'm playing today. Let's drink some water. Queen to e7. All right. So as I told you guys, I'm not a fan of calculating back rank problems, so I will just go h3 and then see what happens. Still, his rook is tied to the a6 pawn. And now maybe it's time to go for queen to d5. Attacking this rook on a8, he has to go rook d8, then the a5 pawn will fall, and then rook a7. I can just take this guy here. A pawn for free is a pawn for free, you know? I don't think too much when I see a pawn for free. I will just go b4 just to annoy him a little bit. And then a3, I can just go back here and then play rook b3, start pushing this guy here and then bring my king to the action. All right, so rook b3. Let's just bring the king to the action. Thank you very much for the game, Maharish Brian Sullivan from United Kingdom. We have more challenges. We have El Padre, another strong player, 2300 here in Chess 24. Let's see how it goes. Let's play knight f6. So Boring Chess was asking if the queen go off, is this a winning rook endgame? With keeping the 2 pawns versus 1, there are a lot of possibilities. Of course, if we exchange this 1 pawn in the queen side, I mean by this 3 pawns against 3 in one flank, and then another pawn in the other flank. Actually, have no clue. Depends on the position of the rooks. It's another story. Okay, queen c2. I will just go g6. We played the Benko. e4. I will just go bishop g7. e5. Normally I can just go back to g8 and then try to put some pressure on the center with d6. Queen to c2 is interesting move. Of course, you guys know that taking on b5 is the main line. The rating. I cannot show you guys the rating with this new setup, but I will tell you. El Padre he's got 2355 rating. a4. All right, what to do now? b4 is possible. b takes c4 is possible. I will just take here on c4. Maybe now e4 is a natural move. Of course, I will just go bishop g7 because now he cannot go e5 because the d5 pawn is hanging. I will just go short castles. Knight f3 and maybe now knight to a6. Knight to a6. I want to jump to b4 with a tempo. That now the queen is on c2. So yeah, knight to b4 and then maybe just go d6. All right. Thanks to you, Maharish, for the game. Knight to a6. Short castles. I want to go knight to b4. If I can attack the queen with a tempo, who is not going to play knight b4? Yeah, everybody does. Now it's time to think. So d6 looks natural. Maybe now what to do? Let's just try to play in a smart way, not like a patzer all the time. All right, I will just go bishop g4. One of the ideas is after h3 I can think on taking and then knight to c2 and knight to d4. And actually this knight on d4 is kind of a monster, even though if we gave up the bishop pair, I think it's quite interesting. So he actually doesn't want to allow this, but now knight to d7, I think it's quite interesting. I want to go knight e5, this knight is pinned. And if h3, I think h3 should be the move now. h3 takes on f3, knight e5, queen e2, takes on c4. Yeah, this interesting position. Maybe after h3 I can take on f3, then after queen f3, knight to c2 first. Because now I don't have any proper square for this bishop, so I have to give it, right? After queen f3, now maybe it's time to go knight to c2. This way I can install a monster on d4. Not so sure. I will just try to do it. I will just try to install this monster on d4. It's actually nobody's gonna kick this guy from there. So my next move is knight to d4 or knight to e5 as well. Actually, knight to e5, knight e5 now is a threat because after queen e2, knight d4 is winning a whole piece, right? So he needs to do something about it. Let's say queen to what? It's not that simple to play. Okay, queen to d1 seems reasonable. So I will just go. What? I have knight a3 as well. This little cute move. Knight a3, bishop takes c3, and we have a postpawn. But not so sure if I prefer to install this monster here. I prefer to install the monster or not. To install the monster or not to install the monster. This is to be or not to be. Okay, what to do, guys? I will just play knight d4. Maybe followed by knight e5. Rook b8, putting some pressure there. Okay, he wants to remove my beautiful knight from d4. That's, of course, fair enough. Maybe, and just maybe now. Hoo-hoo! Okay, a6 or queen to b6. Okay, a6 after takes. I can take with the pawn as well. With the pawn, it's not that stupid as it looks like because we have a pass pawn. But still not so sure. I will prefer to take with my beautiful bishop on d4. b3. Queen a5 maybe. Queen a5. My idea is to install this queen on the big diagonal. So let's say queen a5, bishop b2, bishop takes b2, rook takes b2, queen c3, and at least I have this queen on the beautiful diagonal. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. So queen to c3. Now this queen looks much better here. Can go to g7 and then rook b8, knight e5, trying to put some pressure on the b3 pawn. I need to play faster if I want to survive again. So queen to g7. Now bring the rook to b8 probably. Of course, you need to pay attention to the attack here with f4 in some lines. I think he's not on time to go bishop takes a6 because of rook b3. Yeah, I'll just go rook b8. Now my next move is rook b4. Then bring the other rook to b8, knight e5. Okay, this is a critical test, of course. Rook b3. And now, maybe knight to b6. Knight to b6. I want to take this guy now here on a4, and then rook a1 is not possible because boom on a1 with my queen. Maybe rook a2. All right. Bishop c6. I'm gonna go rook a5, so this queen cannot come never to b5. And now maybe queen to d4 looks extremely interesting, or even rook to b4. I'm just gonna activate my queen to d4, and then I can try to push this guy here. I can just take here, right? I can just take here because after rook a1, knight c3 is coming, yeah? So this is a pawn up. Rook a1 is not working because of knight c3. Knight c3 is a threat, obviously, so after, I think what is better for white is just to take on a4, trying to survive this endgame. But still, he has a lot of hopes because I'm just 45 seconds on the clock. Let's do some pre-moves. We need to start being smarter and faster. Actually, it's an important moment for white. He needs to think what to do because knight c3 is coming. I don't see any reasonable other try. I will just go rook c3 here. Rook c3. And maybe queen to d1 is pretty annoying. Nah, queen to d1 I can just... Maybe queen to d1 is annoying. Rook to d3, not a problem. Queen to b1. All right. Queen to b1. I didn't see that coming. I'll just go king to g7, avoiding all kind of checks. on the back rank. Still, I have to solve this problem. Just go queen to c4. I need to do something about this rook on a5. Looks a bit silly. What to move now? Rook e1. I'll just go rook b3. Rook b3. This is the move now. Queen to b4. Finally, I can remove my knight from... Oh, this is a check. f6. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did I just blunder again? Did I just blunder again? I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it, guys. Incredible. Alright, rook b4 is just try to play fast. Oh, this was a nice game, but again, I managed to screw it everything. Queen h6. Alright, let's just try to play fast. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rook to d4. c4. c3. Rook d3. Defending this guy here. Alright. And I blundered the rook. So bad! Alright, some more games. Thank you for the game. Jenny is telling me, Pepe, play faster. Actually, you are completely right. I should play much faster. We got querying from Dominican Republic. Wow, nice country. I've never been there. Are you here? Kering. Looks like he's not here. So we are gonna abort the game. Let's pick another user. Alfredo. All right, let's try again the English Open. Alfredo from Greece. Alfredo, no, from Uruguay. Alfredo Peña. Are you here? He's not. He's not. We need to abort the game again. And I see we got a lot of users today actually. We got Grandmaster Premove. Grandmaster Premove. User from Spain. And he actually is showing my picture in his profile picture. All right. The Alapin. All right, so I'll just go knight f6, e5, knight d5, d4 is a natural move. I'll just go d6, breaking the center. We need to play against this white setup here in the center. Now, bishop c4, bishop c5, bishop b5, both natural moves. I'll just go here e6, trying to develop my pieces, followed by bishop e7. Then maybe short castles. We need to take care. We need to be careful about this bishop h7 moves, of course. All right, let's take on e5 and maybe just jump to b4. So yeah, actually I should use Jan's remedy. You're right. Some coffee, yeah. Jan drinks coffee like a beast, smokes like a chimney. Uncle Jan, where are you? He's in Thailand playing. All right, so bishop to e4. This is interesting move. Okay, I'll just take the queen. I know that this pre-move user, he likes to play with queens. He's an attacking player, so let's remove queens from the board. Now bishop d7 is a3. I would love to exchange, to sacrifice this piece with knight d5. I was planning to go knight a6, but actually b4 is quite annoying, right? So let's just play for some compensation with knight d5. Bishop takes, e takes, rook takes, and then bishop e6 or bishop g4. Yeah, looks like some compensation at least. Just want to play something interesting. Yes, Querin, I see that you are now in the chat. I will try to accept you. Just challenge me again. b4. He doesn't want to take this guy, so I'll just go a6. I'll just castles maybe. I'll just castle. Yeah, because after b5, and now maybe it's time to bring the rook to d8. Now if he doesn't take on d5, then maybe I'll remove my knight to b6 maybe. Knight to c3, and then, all right, let's just take here, and then bishop e8 or rook ac8. Both looks interesting. I'll just go rook ac8. After b5, what are we gonna do? Maybe a6. Maybe a6. We are quite solid, but not so sure. And it's incredible how much my level is decreased when I speak English. When I speak Spanish, I'm shit too, but okay, rook takes d2, and now I will just bring my rook to c8. Let's wake up. I need to wake up. All right, rook c8, bishop d2. I'll just go g6, giving some pressure to my king. And all right, I would love to activate my rook, but it's not that simple. Okay, let's exchange everything. All right, so I'll just take with my knight, then play bishop c6, trying to... Okay, he doesn't allow me, so I'll just go king f8, f4. He's putting some pressure. He's putting some pressure. I'll just bring my king to d7. He's putting a lot of pressure. And now I'm on time to go knight c6 and then to recapture with my bishop here. If I manage to put my king on d5, I will be much better. So after king d4, now bishop to d8, bishop b6. But he can play king to e4. That's right. All right, let's just keep the bishops on the board just to try something. No, it's just a draw. It's just a draw. He managed to play quite well. But let's not lose the game. Yeah, let's not lose the game. Let's just play h5 just to try to create some strange things on the board. g5 and a5. Yeah, this is gonna be a draw. Yeah, this is gonna be a draw. Grandmaster Primov managed to draw for the first time, I think. Let's see. He plays slow. Okay, bishop b6. Maybe now that's a mistake. That's a huge mistake because now my bishop is active and I can go bishop e1 in the next move. Okay, he managed to defend. Now bishop e1 is a move. Okay, now my king comes to d5. Then he's gonna suffer a little bit. King to d5 and now bishop to e3. This is he's gonna lose this game, but he was so close to make the draw. Okay, now we'll just go king to d5 and then bishop to d6. Thanks for the game. Thanks for the game, Primov. We've got Jenny. Jenny is a woman FIDE master, if I'm not wrong. He's originally from Cuba. But she plays for Paraguay, if I am correct. I think so. He plays for Paraguay. So strong players here trying to crush me. Okay. The Nimso India, I will just follow Jan's recommendation with queen c2. Now knight f3. This is what Jan recommends. c5, then I just take on c5. After knight a6 is the main move. g3 is the main move that Jan recommends. Knight takes c5. Just become premium, guys, to watch this series. It's incredibly interesting. I used this line in 4 or 5 games already in official tournaments. So knight to d5. And now what? I guess I just can castles here. And then knight takes c3, b takes c3. We got war structure, but we have some space. I mean, rook d1, and then there's not an interesting square for the queen. After queen e7, maybe bishop f4, and then followed by bishop d6. Looks interesting. But of course, Yeah, now what to do? Maybe bishop e3 is quite interesting, followed by bishop to d4, right? So he cannot take now on c3 because the c5 knight is hanging, so he has to do something about it. And now bishop d4 looks quite interesting, just defending the c3 pawn and gaining a tempo, followed by knight a5 or something like this. Oh, whoa, 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 let's go bishop d4. And then knight e5 followed by knight c4, attacking this guy here on b6. Not so sure what I'm doing, but I will just try knight e5 followed by knight c4. Of course, if we manage to win, the bishop pair will be more than happy, right? But Jenny is really strong player. I met her for the first time like 5 years ago in the Capablanca Memorial. Probably she doesn't remember. Maybe it's time to play bishop e3. Not so sure if I want to take on b6 or I want to go something like knight to d6, putting a lot of pressure on the d6 pawn. Starting to play like a patzer again. I'll just go. Oh, I was going to play. I'm just incredible player. I was about to play a3. This, of course, allows bishop b3, so we cannot do that. Queen to c7. Maybe it's time to go for something like bishop takes c5. This is a pawn for free, right? Queen takes c5, bishop takes b7. It's not my dream, but I would love to win a pawn, yeah. Maybe was not the right move because now it's not so easy to take here. It's not so easy to take here. Maybe just a4, putting some pressure there. So b6 not possible yet. She still has to do something about this b7 pawn. Maybe rook a7 is a good move. Rook a7. Maybe I can try something like queen to b5. But he's coming with the rook on to a8 probably. He's coming with the rook on a8. I'll just go something like queen to b5. Why not? Maybe a5 in the next move. One of my ideas is after rook f8, I want to go a5. She takes on a5. I will just take. There's some beautiful checkmate on e8. So she cannot take back with the rook. She can with of course with the queen. But this means I can take on b7 with my queen, attacking the a4 a8 rook, and I guess still have some hopes to win this game. But it's nothing, yeah. So, whoa. This is a rook, Jenny. You are giving me a rook for free. And you know, I just take it. Thank you very much. She didn't allow me to show my shotgun, you know. It's the only game I'm winning today and she didn't allow me. Thank you, Jenny, for the game. Thank you, Jenny, for the game. Really strong player from Cuba. And let's play Nomikos Spanos. For the name, I assume he's Greek. Yeah. Let's try to play knight f3. Knight f3 in giddy style. I cannot make more than a draw today. Just when people blunder, I just manage to win the games. Knight f3. Are you there, Nomikos Spanos? I know some words in Greek, actually. Are you here, Nomikos? I think he's not. So we have to abort the game, I guess. Jenny is saying, la he cagao. This is pretty polite sentence in Spanish. It means she made a mistake. She made a mistake, but the position was around equal. So I think we have to abort this game and pick another user. So we have a FIDE Master. We have FIDE Master from United Kingdom. No, from Spain. Beltane, FIDE Master. Strong player trying to crush me. Let's go e5 here. I will just play the Berlin. I cannot make more than a draw, so let's... Oh, he plays the Italian. Bishop c5. c3 is the main line. Now d3 or d4. d4. Now bishop b4 and knight to c3. Now I need to remember something. Knight to e4 is the line, and now I will just take here on c3, I guess. d5, this was a mess. I have no clue what was going on here. Actually, I should know. But, all right, 97. What's going on here? He takes on c3, I can just castles. So, yeah, this is the kind of line, I think. So I will just go short castle here. Queen to d4, maybe. This is kind of move. Now, of course, I would love to develop to the bishop, this bishop on c8. This is pretty sad. Rook e1. All right. This is pretty annoying because, of course, knight to d6. He wants to go bishop d3. Not so easy to develop my pieces. Knight f6 allows d6 maybe, or bishop g5. It's not so easy. Actually, I don't find my position comfortable at all, but I should play something. I'll just go knight d6. Maybe bishop d3. I can just go knight to g6 and then followed by b6, trying to develop my pieces. He's got a lot of space here in this position, but I mean, at least we're trying to survive. So bishop d3 is natural to me. Knight d5 runs into bishop takes h7, followed by queen to d5. Then the queen can come to h5, knight d5. Yeah, I'm not gonna take on d5. Yeah, people, we start in Spanish in half an hour, so hopefully I'll manage to play a little bit better. Okay, I'll just go knight to g6. Bishop g5, I'm forced to go f6. There is no other way. I don't have any square for my queen. So I need to be careful because some move like queen f6 will just lose almost immediately. This bishop g5 is pretty annoying. I need to develop my pieces. I don't know, maybe just b6, trying to go bishop a6, something like this. But still the position looks so terrible, so terrible. Bishop e6, there are some tricks with c5 as well. Now I'm forced to go f6 here in this position, bishop e3, and now what to play? Maybe now I am on time to go rook e8, something like this. Rook e8, followed by knight. Wow, this looks so terrible. Maybe just knight to f7. Yeah, knight f7 I like. I want to install a beautiful knight on e5. Then maybe when we exchange knights, maybe just follow with d6. Finally trying to develop this ugly monster here. Bishop takes g6 and now queen to d3. Of course he wants to take this guy here, but I'm not allowing this. And just go, not the most beautiful move in the world, knight to h8, but I think the situation requires it, and now I'll just wanna go d6, develop my bishop on c8, but it's so difficult to play this position, yeah? Because d6, this knight can come to d4, so actually I don't even wanna go d6 in this position. I don't wanna go for it, but maybe c5 first. Oh, c5 is interesting. Yeah, c5. I'm gonna go c5. If he takes, I can just take back. And if he doesn't take, maybe just d6. And now the knight cannot come to d4. This is a different story, yeah? I can follow with bishop f5 or bishop d7. Quite interesting. All right, if he takes, I will just take back. The position is still extremely dangerous, of course. Everything is too open. I mean, all right, so he wants to go. I will just develop some pieces, otherwise I'm gonna get crushed. Queen takes c6, at least I have rook c8 here, getting some tempi. After queen a4, maybe just queen to d7, just, all right, he wants to exchange. I don't have any other choice. So now it's time to bring my rooks to attack this guy. Knight f7 is the best blocker. So this is a pawn for free. I love pawn for free. So he wants to take here, and then I will just, can I take on d8? No, just, can I take on d1? Yeah, I think so, because knight e7. Okay, now I take here. All right, we still have some troubles to solve, but I mean, the worst has passed. Now 95 maybe. What to do? It's not easy. 95, go away, go away. I want to go maybe b5. All right, I will have to give up this pawn. All right, a5. Takes. Okay, give me that pawn. Give me that pawn. Bishop takes Whoa, whoa, whoa. Knight f7, I defend the h6 pawn. Now b4. Oh, king to g7. I need to play faster. b4. Come on. Come on, a4. I want to go. Ooh, I was going to go b3. Takes. Check. Here. Check. Take. I'm playing too slow. Yeah, he's gonna beat me on time. Yeah, he's gonna beat me on time for sure. He's gonna beat me on time. Yeah, what can I do? I'm too slow, guys. All right, thank you for the game, Beltane. Let's play Frank Holmes. How many games did I lose today? Like 5 already? 5 out of 6 or something? Let's try to play something serious. All right, c5. Frank Holmes from United States. Maybe we can transpose to the Benko after c4. No, of course not. I'll just go e5. Close Benoni. Now, normally we follow with d6, bishop e7, knight bd7. There are some ideas with knight f8, knight g6, h6, knight h7, bishop g5. Trying to... the problem here in this position is this ugly guy on e7. So there are some nice plans to exchange it. So there's some knight b7, knight f8, h6, knight g6, knight h7. But of course, against the fianchetto, maybe it's not the... I'm thinking that maybe I can just castle. So if after bishop g2, I can just try to go b5 here. b5, because now he cannot take, because I will take the more important pawn in the center. So knight takes b5, knight takes e4. Otherwise, yeah, maybe he can try to go for this, but b4, he will have a lot of troubles here in this diagonal, right? So let's say something like knight d1, then bishop a6, queen e3. Yeah, this should be incredibly good for black, but still I can manage to lose this, yeah? I'm an expert. So he cannot castle because, of course, bishop a6, but he wants to go knight to d2 and knight to d4. So maybe it's time to go bishop a6 already. So after queen e3, only move in order to defend this guy here on e4. Maybe knight g4, queen to d2. Of course, this is pretty annoying for white, yeah? Because he cannot castles, and then we have a lot of options here. Another option could be... Alright, I'll just develop my pieces. Maybe just knight b6 or even c4 followed by knight c5, queen to c7. Maybe knight g4 was a bit more accurate, followed by f5 or something like this. But okay, let's just try. Whoa! This is strange, because after knight g4, he can just go to b3, right? He can just go to b3. This looks incredibly dangerous for white. I'll just go a5. I'll just try to put some trick. So I want to go a5 and then knight g4. Okay, h3. Now he realized that he was on trouble. So let's just continue with a5. b3. All right, a4. After bishop b2, we can even think on going a3. So he has to go back to c1. I would love to do something with this guy here on e7. Knight to c4. This is interesting because he wants to castle, but of course I can ruin the structure a little bit. Let's say bishop takes, b takes, knight b6. He can just go knight d2, yeah? Knight b6 straight away. He can just go knight d2 anyway. So how to take advantage of this? Let's take. Not so sure what's going on. All right. Okay, let's play knight b6. He will go knight d2 probably. I will just take and then try to bring my other knight. The idea is that he castles now, then knight b6 is maybe a bit annoying because there's no another piece to defend on c4. He has to defend it with the queen. Looks a bit silly. Yeah, there is some guy saying that Pepe loses his GM title in a Banter Blitz session. That's possible. That's really possible. All right, knight b6. Then knight b6 is possible. Queen b6. He has to remove the rook from f1. Position is around equal. f4. Wow. So this is getting wild. He wants. Okay, I will just take the free foot. Bishop takes f4, and now I'm thinking that maybe, and just maybe, I could go something like takes, bishop f6, but e5 is quite annoying. e5 is quite annoying, so why not to prepare this? Maybe rook e8 could be interesting. I'll just try to go for rook e8. My idea is just to go e takes f4 followed by bishop f6. Yeah, now this is quite possible because after gf, bishop f6, now we are on time to capture with the d pawn, and then the rook is looking at this guy here. So if he moves the rook, now bishop d4 is actually quite annoying, yeah? Still, it's not completely won the position, but I mean, if I don't manage to win this is gonna be a problem, yeah? So why not queen f6? Yeah, or bishop takes a2. I'll just try to make a queen there. Bishop f3, I'll just go back here. He wants to give me checkmate with rook g1. g6, I think it solves more or less the problem. Rook g1, g6, he wants to baboon me with queen to g7. And now it's time to think, because now this is getting dangerous at least. Yeah? So queen f6, I want to give some check on d4 maybe, and then to c3. Okay, I'll just activate my queen a little bit. Queen, bishop to g5, and then queen to c3. And people are asking me, what do you think, Pepe, about Karjakin canceling his participation of the Norway chess? I think it's a decent choice when you have to play for the world match against Magnus Carlsen. Of course, he wants to prepare specifically for this tournament, and yeah, I think this is a natural choice. He doesn't want to face Magnus Carlsen before the tournament. All right, takes, and I will open this file. I want to open this file or not? Not so sure. I will open this file. Maybe it was safer just to take with the h-pawn, yeah? I could have taken on c2 intermediate move. I'm just playing like a patzer again and again and again. Story of the day. Story of the day, Pepe playing like a patzer. Alright, so this is getting complicated. At least I will go queen e5. There are some tricks with rook g6 as well. I don't want to lose another game playing like a kid. Rook g6 is dangerous, so that's why I want to exchange queens. Queen takes e5, rook ac8, or something like this. He can take on b4. Yeah, not so simple, yeah? Queen takes e5 looks natural. So, but at least after rook ac8, queen b4, rook f8, he has some problems with the f file, yeah? So he's thinking, no, amigos, I will give you another chance, of course. Just challenge me again. We just have 20 more minutes, because then we'll switch to Spanish. Okay, queen to a7. He wants to create some troubles here, but I think now after rook to f8, now he is the one having troubles, yeah? Oh, bishop d4. We need to be really careful. Bishop d4, it's really a threat. Okay, maybe queen e7. I don't want to run into any of these troubles. Queen to e7, queen takes. I will just go rook f8, trying to capture now on e4. This would be a terrible blow for him. So maybe he has to go queen to g3. Whoa! Now I think I can take here. I will just take here on e4. Cannot do anything about it. So rook g3, I can just take on c2 as well, or even bishop d5. Yeah, this looks This looks really nice. Now I want to take on f3. Boom! Winning the game on the spot. So, yeah, I think we are going to manage to win this game, even though it was not easy at all. So rook takes f3, check, and then rook e8. And then, okay, still we need to, okay, queen f7. Well, I don't want any checkmate here. So, all right, bishop, queen to e6 maybe. And now queen to e1. Boom! Give me your queens. Give me your queens. Queen to c4. Thank you for the games, Fran Holmes. And I will give Nomikos another chance. Where are you? Where are you, Nomikos? All right, you're here. One more time. Let's try to play e4 without blundering. This is not gonna be easy. e5, knight f3. I'm gonna go for the Spanish variation. Knight to c6 probably. Yeah, I will play the Spanish. And I will play after a6. What was about to say? Yes, guys, I can only play against premium members. This is one of the advantages of becoming premium members. Not to play against a shitty guy like me, okay? Of course, you are not gonna become premium to play against me, but you can play against Jan Gustafsson of Peters Builder. And this is what I was about to say. Here I wanted to play some tricky line, d4. This is called the Slovakian attack or something like this. I remember when I was a child, I was looking at games of Zapata. He's a Colombian grandmaster, and he used to play this line. It's not the best line in the world, but for a blitz game it's quite interesting. Bishop b3. Now it's not easy to take on e4. Now that's why I will go e5 in this position. He will probably go to e4. We can get this pawn back. And taking on d4. Yeah, this is an interesting line. After knight e4, knight takes d4, knight takes, queen takes, knight c5. Yeah, black is okay, but still it's an interesting line. Keep calm and baboom! People are saying knight g8. This should be a terrible move. Let's see what is his idea. I think I can just take just rook e1. If I take on d4, maybe knight e5 is his idea. But okay, just play rook e1. Now I want to play knight to d4 or even c3, sacrificing this pawn. We have a lot of space, so this should be good enough. I'll just go c3, just trying to develop my pieces. d3. All right, now give me your pawns, baby. Give me your pawns. Maybe knight g5 is also quite interesting here. Nah, I'll just take this guy here on d3. After knight g7, now knight g5 is a terrible blow. I think knight g5, he almost has to resign here. Because after castles, queen to h7, boom, right? So I think after knight g5, the position is really bad for black. If I'm not blundering anything, I cannot say anything today because I'm playing really badly. But I think after knight g5, the position looks really bad for black, right? Yeah. Actually, you are right. Ambitious pawn, yeah. I'm the best patzer ever, yeah. So now it's quite difficult for black to play here in this position. Maybe d5, but after e takes e6, the same story happens, yeah. Not easy to defend the f7 pawn. All right, so now rook f8. Now I need to kill him. How? Okay, I just like queen to h7 and then queen to g7 and then keep attacking this guy on f7. I still don't see any reasonable choice for black here. Yeah, okay. Now there are several babooms here. I like bishop f7. Wow, I see so many crazy stuff here. So bishop f7 takes, and then b4, right? This should be good enough to win. But I want more. I want more, guys. I want more. I want queen g7 and now knight to h7. I like that too. Nah. So queen to g7, knight takes b3, knight h7, threatening to give checkmate, but he has knight f5 because he defends the f rook. So I'll just take everything here. Why not? Give me. Yeah, my idea is just to go b4 in the next move with a double attack to these two pieces. So should be enough to win. Bishop f2, just king f2, just go back. The f-file is open. So yeah, this is a good business for white, I guess. Checkmate with tomato. No. There's no rest for me today. I will just change straight away to Spanish in the couple of next minutes. So 10 more minutes ago in English. Yeah, maybe it's got some contemplate with bishop b7 or something like this. Nah, but I think it's not enough. Even I can try to go bishop h6. How many openings do you know, Pepe? Well, I would say the openings are not my best skills in chess, yeah? My main opening used to be the Philidor until 2 years ago. So, yeah, my openings, I need to work still on my openings a lot. Knight g6, and this is getting actually not so easy now. Okay, I just go queen to h5. Queen to h5. Now I want to go queen to f5, winning the game on the spot. So he should do something about it. It's not easy because maybe queen to e8 is the only move. Because after queen f5, he can go to g8. Yeah, he saw this move. He's playing. He saw this move. All right, so now what to do? What to do? All right, king f. Yeah, queen f5 and e6. I want to exchange all the possible pieces. e6. Knight h4, I have queen f7 and then f3. This is an exchange up, so shouldn't be any problem. After d takes e6, just queen e6, for example, should be reasonable, or even rook e6. Yeah. Try Banter in German. I cannot do that, guys. My German is more than terrible. So I will take and then go f3. Just develop now with bishop g5, winning a tempo, knight d2. Should be okay. All right, so I have a policy when I am material up, it's just exchange all the possible pieces, cut all the possible trees in the forest, yeah? When you are material up. Whoa, this is actually not working because of rook f1. So now this is spin, so it's more or less time to resign for black. This is just a rook up now. All right, rook d1, for example. And now a check. Give me rook d7. Rook c7 is coming. Rook c7 with a check. Now bishop to d4. This king is really active. It's really brave, but it's not going anywhere, I guess. Rook g7. Yeah. All right, let's just try rook g4. Okay, let's keep playing. All right. Bishop e5, if b takes e3, rook f3, not a problem. So, yeah. I'm so able to lose these kind of games in Blitz, but I think I will manage to save it today. h4, okay, yes, give me that. h4 or king g2. Check, pre-move, rook a3, king to g3, h4, h5, king to g4, h4, h5. All right, so rook a5, discover checks in the air. Bishop d4, it was not a discover check. Now bishop e5, he wants to beat me on time, yeah? Rook d5, but I think I have more than enough. Now we'll exchange everything, and this guy runs too much. All right, thank you, Nomikos, for the game. And we come to the last game in English for today, and then we'll switch to Spanish. All right, so I will go for d4. d4, d5, c4. And I see we have Atacando in the chat. Oh, knight f6. I will just take. This actually is not considered to be a really good move because now you give up the center. Now after knight takes d5, e4 is coming, and then you have all your central pawn controlling the center. Yeah, so after knight c3, I can just go now. All right, I cannot go e4, of course, because knight takes e4. This one's sort of Scandinavian, but strange, yeah. So I will go bishop d2. I want to go e4 now. I want to go e4, so now I don't have problems in this diagonal. If I manage to go e4, knight f3, develop my pieces, this queen is kind of strange here on a5, so this opening is not the best opening for black. All right, so Gabriel Davila, Argentinian player. I will go e4. My idea is just nomad development, controlling the center. Controlling the center is really important in chess and dance and reggaeton. Okay, bishop b4. He wants to take and then take on e4. Still not possible because I can take back with my bishop. So I will just go bishop d3. Maybe queen c2. Threatening some moves like e5, then this h7 pawn will be weak when he's already castled. I'll just castle here, maybe play a3 and then force the exchange of bishops. So now a3 and take some c3. Bishop takes c3 probably, and then queen h5 is only move, I guess. Yeah, queen h5 is the only move. Has to go there. Yeah, this doesn't look good for black. Yeah. I can think on going e5 and g4 some positions, but no. He's gonna go bishop b7, and then I need to think how to improve my position because my pieces look really beautiful here, but not so clear. Yeah. This is the last game in English, guys. Then we'll switch to Spanish. Bishop b7. Now it's time to go for something. We'll go rook e1. This is a natural move, defending the e4 pawn. I want to see where he wants to castle, short side or long side. g5. Wow, this is getting wild. This is getting wild. So maybe just knight a5 is good enough. Or I don't want to exchange queens actually. Yeah, I will just go knight a5. Just a pre-move. He's gonna take on d1, rook takes e1, and the endgame is a bit better for white since we have the bishop pair. More development. All right. Are you there, Gabriel? You can challenge me 3 minutes game or 5 minutes games, whatever you like. I think it's better if you challenge me 3 minutes game because I can play against more people. A lot of challenges, so you guys can all play. You can all crush me and enjoy beating a grandmaster or someone who says he's a grandmaster. Yeah, rook takes d1. Okay, this position looks really good. I will just go bishop c2. If he goes c5, then there is bishop a4, really annoying. And now it's time to double rooks in the d file. Not sure if... Yeah, rook d1. Now knight c5 maybe is the move. But just b4, yeah? Just before, just go h5. Just 7 seconds, gonna be tough for him. Give me that pawn. Give me that knight. Rook takes, yeah, this should be okay. All right, I think we do have time for one more game in English. So I will just try to take a guy who speaks English in this last game in English. So a user from Germany, Aldislo, e4. Let's try to crush him. e4, last game in English. We go back to Spanish, guys. f5, wow! He wants to crush me with with f5. Okay, queen f6. Just go d4, knight c3. Okay, knight c4, knight to c3. After f takes e4. And yeah, queen to g6, I think is the move in this kind of position. Well, considered to be really good for white, but you have to know the theory. And I, of course, have forgotten everything in this position. I'm wondering what's happening. I know it's not the move. I'm wondering what's happening if knight d5. I'm just gonna play it because I have no clue. So maybe king d8 is the move or something like this. But I can always go back with this knight to e3 or f4. So the Latvian gambit, queen f7. Yeah, this is more reasonable. All right, so I'll just go knight to e3, followed by bishop e2. Yeah, this knight was better on c3. Knight f6, bishop e2. He can never go d5 because the e5 square is weak. So I'll just go castles here and then maybe try to break with f3, opening up the position since the bishop e6 still nothing happens because it's well defended, this knight on c4. Bishop e7, and maybe this is the moment just to break on f3. Then he takes, I can just take back with my rook. Maybe try to play d5 in the next move. Yeah, this looks good. After castles, I will go d5. Yeah, now d5 is really strong. Yeah, now d5 is actually a problem for black. Because f5 is covered, g4 is covered, because I can just take with my knight. And yeah, I think this is just winning the game. d5. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. d5. So knight e5, I just take with my knight on e5. Yeah, I think white is better. I mean, it's just a piece up, yeah? Whoa, I started this with... What am I saying? Am I saying I was winning the piece here? I'm just stupid? Just bishop takes d5, I'm losing a pawn. All right, let's take... What am I saying? I'm gonna even talk. All right, now time to fix this mess. Queen f1, I will go knight e3 and knight f5. Yeah, that's what happens if you cannot calculate even two moves in a row. d5 and then you just lose a pawn, yeah? Okay, so still we have decent compensation. I will just go knight f5. Now this rook can come to the attack to c3 and then bishop f3. Okay, the position is not that bad, but yeah. So I'll go rook c3 here. The pawn on g7 is hanging as well. I want to go bishop f3 and bishop e3 maybe, just developing some pieces. Yeah, the position actually looks quite good for white. Now bishop f3 is interesting because now queen takes f5 runs into bishop b7 check, just winning the whole queen. So he cannot take on f5. Actually, he has to go back, I don't know where, to e5 maybe. Yeah, he can go to e5. This is a reasonable move. And now maybe rook e3. Rook e3, he still has queen to c5, yeah? Queen to c5. So maybe what? Maybe bishop e3 here in this position? Maybe bishop e3, trying to go for bishop d4. Still, he cannot take on f5 because there is this nice discovery check. So knight to b6, now I want to go bishop d4. Yeah, bishop d4, he can still not take... Wow, 19 seconds. 19 seconds, okay, now it's time to play fast. Queen e6, I can just take here. Then I'm going to take this rook back. Now here, then maybe the rook is hanging. This is terrible. Now I want to go bishop g4. The bishop on e7 is hanging. 14 seconds. Bishop g4. Give me that. Give me that. I'm going to take on e8. If rook f5, check here. And give me that. All right, rook f3. I'm going to take here. Take here. Okay, let's give some checks. Let's give some checks. All right, so we won on time. Thank you for the game, and thank you guys for watching this in English. Now it's time for to switch to Spanish. I hope you guys learned something, even though it was not my best day. Anyway, it was a lot of fun.